I just dumped my solid rocket boosters. This is my large launch vehicle. It took up a station core earlier, and then this is a truss structure that's going to rendezvous with it. I'm practicing rendezvous and docking and trying to build a station and testing docking ports. So far, I haven't been able to land on the moon, mostly because when I undock spaceships, they just drop out of orbit. And doing a little reading online seems to be a bug that has to do with struts. So nothing that you see here in this video was constructed using any struts at all. So even all the SRBs on the sides of my launch vehicles, no struts. Right now I'm docking my solar panel module here. This is the big truss section. I found that in this game, right now anyway, you need a ton of RCS thrusters. Like I'm probably using like 4 times as many as I would use in KSP 1. In the new game, there's super large and frickin' super large docking ports, which is awesome, but I'm not used to them. And so this is actually my second flight, because the first time I got this far, I had put the wrong big docking ports on each end of this thing, and I couldn't figure out for a second why they wouldn't hook together. Uh, anyway, so this is round 2. Again, the point was to practice. And practice makes perfect. Dang, that feels good. Alright, now we need to send a crew to this station. This is my crew launch vehicle. It's kind of a shout out to the Ares one. It's just a single solid rocket booster for my first stage, and then I've got a liquid fuel second stage. And then just a pretty simple little 5 Kerbal return vehicle up there. The SRB with the fins is a bit finicky, but it's not too bad. It's pretty easy to control. And once it gets to this liquid-fueled stage, it's got a little too much oomph, but it gets the job done. So it's kind of funny that this spaceship is purple. I'm not sure exactly how it ended up being purple, but I do appreciate that I can change the colors because it helps me keep my spaceships separate. But this little purple gumdrop is on its way to station. This is me planning a maneuver node and trying to figure out how the new intercept system works. What I've done here is I've put down a maneuver node and then I've decelerated till our orbits pass each other. And then it's really finicky, but you can grab the maneuver node and drag it around. So what I'm looking for is the number 1 intercepts there, where each of my vehicles are going to be at 1, to be as close as possible together. And when you release the maneuver node, you can mouse over and see. And so I'm going to have like 125 meters a second difference. We're about 9,000 meters apart, which is quite a big distance. But my plan is I'm going to do this maneuver to get that close. And then the next time we're very close to each other, I'm going to point at the retrograde and slow down, and then I'll point at my target and repeat. So it's showing me here where our orbits are going to cross and where we're going to be as close as possible to each other. And if you mouse over it, it will actually show you that we're going to be about 52 meters apart and something like, 60 something meters in relative speed. So we're looking really good. I'm basically coming in right at my target here. I'm just going to switch to the regular view, and when my target is nearish to me, around 100 meters or so, I'm just going to point retrograde and then start firing my engine to slow down. And when I get this close, I definitely want to hit F5 and quick save, but I want to get my relative speed to my target, which is the little yellow number way over in the lower left. I want to get that to 0 if I can, because then I'm kind of parked there, and that's a good restart point if I screw it up. When you go into dock, you want to turn on your RCS thrusters, and when you have those turned on, I, J, K, and L become like a second set of arrow keys, like another WASD. So basically this game becomes that little V in the center of my nav ball is the nose of my spaceship. The trick to it is I have to use the WASD keys to move the nose of my spaceship around and kind of eyeball it and pretend they're lined up. But if you can get them to be lined up, then you can use the I, J, K, and L keys to move around the prograde or retrograde indicator, respectively, on your nav ball. And then you want to end up with the little V in the center that's the nose of your aircraft. You want that to end up in the white open circle of your target. So I use I, J, K, and L, and I move that prograde indicator, that green indicator around. And now this is where I want to be when I'm this close. You see how the green indicator is right on top of the target, which is the open white indicator, which is right on top of the white V, which is the nose of my spaceship. Now, again, the trick here is, am I lined up in 3D if I pan my camera around and use WASD? And I think I am. This game would actually really benefit from like true 3D goggles. All right, did it again. Another successful docking. And my first successful Kerbal Space Program 2 space station. Again, this whole video made without struts. So far, all my testing here in low orbit has proven that I can rendezvous, I can dock, and the docking ports are undocking so long as I don't use struts. And that's really all I need to guarantee that I can get to the moon. So I suppose next up is the Mun. I really appreciate you watching to the end. I would even more appreciate a like. And if you haven't subscribed already, that would be awesome too. I know it's been really sporadic between videos, but I'm on a roll with Kerbal Space Program 2. And just comment below and let me know what you'd like to see.